CBS Television Sports presents the National Football Conference Championship game. Today, the Minnesota Vikings meet the Dallas Cowboys. Sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. The closer you look, the better we look. And by Goodyear, makers of the custom steel guard radial tire. And by the American Bankers Association, your bank helping you change things for the better. And by Amoco Oil, who urges you to conserve this country's energy.
The Minnesota Vikings have already been introduced, and the Dallas Cowboys are about to come on the field. You knew the story, and we welcome you to Irving, Texas, and Texas Stadium, the NFC Championship game. I'm Jack Buck, and to my right is Pat Summerall. Pat has some comments about these Cowboys, the champions of the NFC East.
8 consecutive years the Cowboys have been in the playoffs, and nobody else has ever done that before. The Cowboys coached by Tom Landry with a record of 10-4 in the regular season. This was last week against Los Angeles, and at this point the Rams were closing. Roger Staubach throwing down the middle as the Cowboy lead at this time was 1 point, 17-16. This is the spectacular rookie number 88, Drew Pearson. And this was the game breaker as Staubach put it out of reach from Los Angeles with this completion. That's as close to a victory dance as you'll ever see by Pearson as he got it in the end zone. The Cowboys went on to win 27-16. The Minnesota Vikings, led by Fran Tarkenton, and with some comments, our colleague Wayne Walker.
Well, Pat, believe it or not, after 13 years in the National Football League, last Saturday, Fran Tarkenton played it in his first playoff game, and what a game he responded with. 16 out of 28 for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's a reformed scrambler, but he can still move around back there as he did here on this first and goal situation that put the clinching touchdown on the board for the Vikings. 20-13 the score. He finds John Gilliam in the corner, and that was the final score for the Vikings. And I'll tell you, Dallas will have to pay some attention to John Gilliam this afternoon.
The remainder of the Dallas Cowboys, and we'll be ready for the start of today's game in just a moment.
In the vast world of ever-ready power sources, one stands out as the best and the longest lasting. The ever-ready alkaline power cell. A long-life power cell that outworks, outlasts, outlives any ordinary battery in heavy-duty use. The ever-ready alkaline power cell. The longest-lasting power source from Ever-Ready. Our best.
The first time I saw this courthouse, I was 5 years old. That was Waxahachie, Texas, 1917. I'm Byron Nelson. Waxahachie has really changed a lot since then.
One of the reasons for all the changes here is the banks. Like 10 years ago, cotton was dying as a crop. So the banks put up a lot of money to help finance new methods for cotton farmers like Donald Patman. Today, cotton is twice as big as it used to be. And 3 years ago, Carroll Davis was a carpenter who wanted to build some low-cost homes.
So he went to his bank and got a loan. Today, these are Carroll's homes.
And I have more plans, Byron.
Good. Point is that banks all over this country are working to help build homes and communities. Or to help make retirement possible for an old golfer.
Your bank, helping you change things for the better.
It's tough to put a Muriel down. It's tough to put a Muriel down. With so much flavor going for you, it's tough to put a Muriel down. It's tough to put a Muriel down. You're gonna want to take it with you all around. You get so much for so little. It's tough to put a Muriel down.
The stage is set for the NFC Championship game. One more item, our national anthem. A fine trumpeter, Mr. Tommy Loy, accompanies the color guard to the playing field, which is a tartan turf field. It's a sellout crowd here of more than 65,000, and this will be Tommy Loy, featured with our national anthem.
As we prepare for a new year, let us remember that we honor the Stars and Stripes as the emblem of our country. The flag is our symbol of national unity, national endeavor, and our national aspiration. Long may it wave. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join with us in the singing as we present Mr. Tommy Loy and our national anthem.
Here at Texas Stadium today, the season will come to an end for one of these teams, the Vikings or the Cowboys. And the winner, as you know, goes on to the Super Bowl. That date is the 13th of January. That telecast will be on CBS. Pat, I know the biggest item about Dallas you haven't referred to yet, having to do with Calvin Hill.
Calvin Hill suffered a dislocated elbow last week against Los Angeles. He will not play. This, of course, is Roger Staubach, the NFC's leading passer last year, with over 62% of his passes completed. Calvin Hill will not play. His place will be taken in the lineup by Robert Newhouse. Newhouse is 5'10" and 210 pounds. Not as quite a big a pass receiving threat as Calvin Hill, but nevertheless a fine runner.
Fred Cox will kick off. 3 deep men for the Cowboys, and in the middle is Cliff Harris. He's number 43, and he's averaged about 25 yards per kickoff return. Here we go, and we hope you enjoy it. Mr. Harris takes it on the 1, 10, 15, 20, 21, and the Cowboys will go from there with Terry Brown downfield to make the tackle, number 24, and frequently he is downfield doing that work for Minnesota.
Both of these teams do an excellent job on special unit performance. In fact, Tom Landry says that's the big difference in this Dallas team over past years. They're better on special teams.
The Dallas Cowboys moving from the 21 with Staubach number 12 at the quarterback spot. Walt Garrison is the fullback, number 32. Therefore, he'll be the up man in the I formation, and Robert Newhouse is the tailback. Wide receiver to the right, slot formation. Dupree, the tight end. Newhouse got a couple. Jim Marshall met him head on, and then he got help from Wally Hilgenberg, the outside linebacker. And linebacking, as it always is, Wayne Walker, is going to be very important in this game, because I know they don't want Newhouse to get outside.
Robert Newhouse is very hard to bring down, and linebackers will find out, and defensive linemen will find out that he's one young man that's not going to come down with an arm tackle.
You might make that first hit, but you might need some help also. The ball was carried out to the 24, and it's 2nd down and 7. They shift into the I. And the pitch to Newhouse. This is what we're talking about, trying to get outside. He's short of a first down. It'll be a third down play. And Jeff Seaman, the very mobile middle linebacker, number 50, got over there and made the hit.
The Cowboys believe that the way to beat Minnesota is to run against them, and that's what they're going to start out early trying to do. A Newhouse with good pursuit. You saw number 50, Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker, finally take him down.
Third down and 4. Newhouse goes out, and Mike Montgomery comes in. He had been injured, but he's playing today, number 23.
He is, we might add, Jack, a fine pass receiver, which, as I pointed out before, Newhouse is not necessarily a good pass receiving target.
Hayes to the left, Pearson to the right. Montgomery and Garrison. Staubach's first pass, 3rd and 4. He's going to run for a first down. Seaman covered him after Staubach hit the deck. That's the first down of the day. Both quarterbacks can do that, Wayne.
You bet. And there's nothing more demoralizing to a defense to drive back and play your coverage correctly, have everyone covered, and have the quarterback run out there and make a first down on you.
But you still have to go after that passer, Pat. I thought that Washington failed to do that last week. Made it quite a difference.
You can't concern yourself too much about that. You've still got to put some heat on the passer. If he scrambles, you're just going to have to take your chances with that.
First down at the Cowboy 35. Hayes is split to the right. And now they are in a true high formation. And now in motion Pearson. Newhouse, nothing doing. Jim Marshall, the defensive end. And the 14-year veteran from Ohio State teamed up with Alan Page for that stop, and that was the best hit of the day to this point.
Let's look at it again. Pearson coming in motion here. Number 70, of course, is Jim Marshall, closing the line against Newhouse, and Wally Hilgenberg making the hit around the neck.
John Fitzgerald is the center for Dallas with Blaine Nye and John Nyland. There's Eller in on that last play. You saw him stick his nose in there. 2nd down and 10. Neely and Rayfield Wright are the tackles. Hayes is this way to the left. Staubach on 2nd and 10. Incomplete. He tried to save it to Garrison, and the linebacker Roy Winston was covering, number 60. Well, what do you think of the tempo of this one thus far, Wayne? Anything untoward?
Well, no, I was really watching Gary Larson that time. I thought that perhaps the Vikings might play Larson as a hit and control man on passing situation because of Staubach's success last week running up the middle, but they turned him loose. They were going after him that down.
It's 3rd and 10. We have 11:43 remaining in the first quarter. There's no score. This is the first possession. Bob Hayes goes to the right, Drew Pearson to the left, and Mike Montgomery is in there again. Third and 10. Sideline overthrown, incomplete, and Dallas will have to punt. Pat, already we've seen one thing. With Newhouse playing in a passing situation, Montgomery has to come in, whereas Hill, their leading pass receiver for the year, just stayed in there and did both.
Of course, Calvin, as we pointed out, is an excellent target, 6'4" and about 230 pounds, but we will not see him this afternoon because of that dislocated elbow.
The punter, and doing a great job lately, is Marv Bateman. He's averaged more than 41 yards a kick. He's standing at the 20, and Bobby Bryant is inside his 25. Big rush, but they didn't get to it, and Bryant calls for a fair catch. I thought he had a chance to return it, but the Vikings, getting the ball for the first time, go from their 26. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. So now we'll get a look at Fran Tarkenton. Well, he's not a loser anymore, Pat. He took his team to the championship, and he's got them of their division. Won one playoff game, and we're looking at a winner now.
That's something's been stuck in his throat for a long time. That rep.
Reed and Foreman are the setbacks. Gilliam is to the right. Caldale to the left. Oscar Reed carried to the 30. Picked up 4, 2nd down and 6. And Bill Gregory, who's playing in place of Bob Lilly, was the tackler. It's a shame that Lilly is out, Wayne. That adds another dimension to this game.
I'll tell you what, in a way, you hate to see anybody injured, but it's been a blessing for the Cowboys because they've really come up with some good young people to fill in for injuries this year, and it's really helped them down the stretch.
Cowboys, by the way, have 10 first-year men on their roster. Second down and 6. Gilliam to the right, Carroll Dale to the left. The tight end is Stu Boyd on the right side. Now Foreman. Got a couple. Dave Edwards, the linebacker, number 52. Leroy Jordan, the middle linebacker, number 55. And the Vikings are confronted with a third down play. Neither team wide open at this point, Pat.
They've both been very cautious, which you would expect in a game like this, sort of feeling each other out. The Vikings very much like Los Angeles on offense. They like to run the ball. Of course, they can't throw it, as the Rams could with John Hadle. And with Tarkenton on third down, he's a threat to do the same thing that Staubach did a minute ago and scramble.
Third down and about 3 yards to go. Foreman is in motion. Tarkenton throws, and that's a first down. Chuck Foreman caught the ball. There's a rookie who can do it all. From Miami, Florida. What a year he's had. 800 yards. Did well in the playoff game last week. Cornell Green was covering, made the hit, but Minnesota gets a first down. There was some significance to that call. It was third down, 2.5, and Tarkenton elected to throw it. Gilliam left, Carroll Dale right. The ball at the Minnesota 39. First down pass. Gilliam got it. They mark his forward progress short of a first down by about a half a yard. Mel Renfro made the hit. The next time Dallas lines up, instead of setting the offense for you, we're going to have Wayne Walker talk to you about that flex defense that the Cowboys use. It's something that they have featured and made work for them in very good fashion this year. It's second down and 1. And the ball is at the 48. Who's going to be off the line there, Wayne, on defense?
It'll depend on the Viking formation, who they flex. The defensive end is back on a weak side. The tackle's back on the strong side.
Jethro Pugh is playing about a yard off the line. Here's a big call, and the long one to the sideline, overthrown to Carroll Dale. Tarkenton threw it away when he saw Cornell Green step for step with Carroll Dale as Gilliam tried to clear him out deep.
I would imagine that Dallas will play Minnesota and John Gilliam just about the same way they played John Hadle and Harold Jackson last week, and that is have double coverage on Gilliam wherever he goes. You look at the man who made those decisions, Tom Landry. It'll be Charlie Waters and Cliff Harris on one side. On the other side, if it happens to be Gilliam out by himself, then Mel Renfro will get the help from Cliff Harris.
They take out a wide receiver, Minnesota does, and they put Goodrum in there to help with the blocking on 3rd and 1. Oscar Reed's got the first down across midfield, and Minnesota keeps the football with 9:10 remaining in the first quarter. Leroy Jordan and Bill Gregory met that play.
And watch the offensive charge by that Minnesota line, which is an excellent one. That's what got their first down for them here. That and the fine running of Oscar Reed.
The Minnesota front line is Tingelhoff at center, Sunday and White at the guards, Alderman and Yari at the tackles. The ball at the Dallas 49. Carroll Dale to the right. Voigt splits left. Gilliam splits left. First down pass again. The bomb for Gilliam. Renfro covered it. I think he got a hand on it, but he was right at the sideline. And Tarkenton, I guess Gilliam just couldn't get down there quickly enough. He might have been bumped, Pat, because the timing wasn't there on that play.
I'd imagine that somebody, if they got close enough to him, would try to knock him off stride. This is a note from the Cowboys. This is the first time in his pro career, regular season or postseason, that Bob Lilly has not started. But here's that last play with Gilliam being covered by Renfro. Nobody touched him.
I think Francis wanted to go on the straight up there, and then Renfro was in such good shape that he threw it towards the sideline. Just hope that Gilliam could adjust to that ball.
We said a while ago that both teams were rather conservative, but not now. Tarkenton throwing the ball on first down.
That's a good down to throw against any defense.
Jim Lash is in as a wide receiver. It's second down and 10. And he might as well keep throwing it, right? Jim Lash to the sideline. Yes, it's a first down. It's a first down for Minnesota. The hit was made by Renfro, and he carried Lash out of bounds. First-year man from Northwestern.
Well, now he doesn't get his feet down in bounds, as you'll see in just a second, but he's knocked out by Renfro. And as long as the defender takes him out like this, it's ruled to be a legal catch. He did not get his feet down.
He got the one tootsie down, but not the other. And it's a first down at the Dallas 38. Minnesota with a good drive here. Gilliam to the right. Or Lash to the right and Gilliam to the left. Foreman. Boy, what a block he got from Oscar Reed. And he got 9 yards on that play.
It's a play that, when it started, didn't look like it was going to get much. But watch the block by number 32 first on Cornell Green. And Foreman knew how to take advantage of it.
Second down and 1. Cornell Green came up to force the play from his safety spot, and Reed picked him off, and it's second down and 1. So you would guess at this point Minnesota is going to be the first to get down the scoreboard one way or another. 7:50 remaining in the first quarter. Gilliam flanks further right. First down with Oscar Reed. Bill Gregory wrapped him up. He's the one who's playing in place of Bob Lilly, and they're very pleased with the work of Gregory.
Well, he's played the last 5 games and played very well. One thing I've noticed, Wayne, that the Vikings already are doing is they are staying away from that double coverage with Waters and Harris. They're going to the single coverage, even if they are throwing at an all-pro cornerback in Mel Renfro.
Well, that's the way the Cowboys think. They have so much respect for Mel Renfro's ability. They figure that they can put him out there one-on-one against anybody and give help to the other side.
What a good drive by Minnesota. The ball is at the 26. First down. Oscar Reed. Good move. He's down to the 21. He picked up 5 yards. Pat Toomey, 67. Bill Gregory, 77, the tacklers.
Let's check out the blocking on that last play, led by Ron Yeary. Good block by Chuck Foreman on Larry Cole is the key to this.
I think we saw Ed White in action, too, pulling from the left side, Wayne.
I'll tell you, you'll find the Vikings anytime they really feel like they need it. They'll run behind Ron Yeary over on that right side. What a ball player he is.
The ball at the 21. Second down and 5. Foreman worked for the yardage. It'll be third down coming up. And I guess these Vikings slept pretty well last night, Pat. They're not upset at all by this championship situation.
They sure look like it now, don't they? It's a fine drive, as you've been saying before.
Cole and Jordan were the last tacklers. And it's third down and 1. And that's the one thing that Tarkenton has been able to do, Wayne, get him in that third and short situation.
Once again, the wide receivers come out, and big tight end, the lineman goes in at the weak side tight end. So more than likely 3rd and 1. We're going to see a run in this situation.
2 rookies are in there. Goodrum and Kingsrider are helping with the blocking. 3rd and 1. Foreman following Reed. Very close. Very close. The referee here today is Norm Schachter. Lou Palazzi, the umpire. Tony Batteri, the head linesman. Art Holst, the line judge. The back judge is Tom Keller. Field judge Tony Scober. John McDonough and Cal Lepore are the alternates. Well, is Minnesota going to have to settle for a field goal, or will a first down allow them to continue what might be a touchdown drive? Inches. Okay, Bud Grant. What are you going to do?
I think they got to go for the first down.
I think they got to go for the field goal. You're right. I'm wrong. They're going to go for the first down. I'd go for the 3 myself.
I'm going to say they're going to run it to the right side behind Ron Yeary, as we talked about earlier, too.
Dallas shores up their defense, and they put Rodrigo Barnes in there. He plays on their goal line defense. The ball is on the 16. Big play. Fourth down. First down. Oscar Reed got it. First down. Yeah, he got it. He was driven back, but his progress took him very close to the 15-yard line as he hurdled. I thought that the left defensive end, Chuck Goodrum, had moved just before the snap. I was surprised I didn't see a flag.
I thought so, too. I thought he moved his right leg. As it looks like we're going to have another measurement. Look at it again. Watch the second man in on the far side. Looked like he moved ahead of time.
Yeah, he beat the count. I don't know why they're measuring. He made about 4 inches. Watch it again and check the forward progress of Oscar Reed.
They put a double team on Gregory that time, and Reed right over the top. He made it, as you said, with just inches to spare.
It's a Minnesota first down. The ball at the 16-yard line. 4:45 remaining in the first quarter. No score. Gilliam to the left. Jim Lash is to the right. Stu Boyd is back in there. First down pass again. Throwing long for Lash. Can't get there. He'd been bumped before the ball was in the air. Charlie Waters got to him twice, Pat.
Was not a good pass by Tarkenton. It seemed to slip out of his hand. Did not have a lot of zip on it.
And here it's very meaningful. The Lash comes out and the veteran Carroll Dale goes back in. He knows how to get away from those cornerbacks.
Probably runs as good a pass pattern as anybody who ever played the game of pro football. Very disciplined type receiver.
This drive has already included 15 plays for Minnesota. 2nd and 10. I guess they'll throw again, huh? End around fake to Carroll Dale. The pass to Oscar Reed. And he gained about 9 yards on that play. The fake draw, the fake end around, and then the swing pass with Dede Lewis and Dave Edwards, the linebackers, finally stopping the play.
This is a good-looking play here. Well executed. Well done by Oscar Reed and by Chuck Foreman.
They were spread out all over the field, weren't they?
Yes, sir.
Oscar Reed really did a good job. He was the one that the handoff was fake to. Then he held in there and really sold that for a while. He didn't take a move, crouch down, and the linebackers really lost sight of him.
It's 3rd down and 2. And the ball is at the 7, and Goodwin checks back in on offense, and Rodrigo Barnes checks in on defense for Dallas. 3rd and 2. Reed's got the first down, a touchdown, but there's a flag holding against Minnesota. What do you think of that? Reed burst into the end zone, but that flag came down very early. And the official was very emphatic about the call. The umpire, Lou Palazzi, called it. We'll watch the play again and see if you can tell who latched on.
Spectacular block, double team block by Ron Urey and Chuck Goodwin.
I think it's Urey.
The holding penalty was called on Urey, is correct. I guess he should get a good block, huh?
And he did. He had him back there. But you know what? That's more a mental error than I think anything. Holding on a running down is really a mental error more than it is a physical error.
3rd down and long. The Vikings have kept the ball for almost 9 minutes. And it's 3rd down and 17. They've got to get to the 6-yard line for a first down. Carroll Dale's to the right, John Gilliam to the left. Army Martin, that Toomey had put Fred Cox under the gun.
Harvey Martin replacing Larry Cole, as he often does in passing situations. He's number 79. And he is just a great pass rusher. He got away from Ron Urey.
Well, that really hurt the Vikings. The longest field goal of the year by Fred Cox was 41 yards. This is a 44-yard attempt with Krause holding the ball. Oh, yeah. 3 points for Minnesota. Minnesota breaks on top. 3:47 remaining in the first quarter. The Vikings kept the ball for almost 9 minutes and take the lead 3-0.
A Goodyear tire that saves gasoline isn't exactly a new idea.
As you can see from this Goodyear ad that appeared in Collier's Weekly in December 1916, Goodyear tires were cutting down on the nation's fuel bill in another energy emergency. So a Goodyear tire that saves gasoline isn't exactly a new idea, but it's a good one. Today, our tests prove that this Goodyear Steel Guard radial, compared with non-radial tires, gives you extra gasoline mileage. And that's not all. Steel Guard also has these 5 guards to help protect you 5 ways. Flexible polyester cord, double steel belts, computer-designed tread to hold in the wet, cornering grooves, steel sidewall stabilizers. All these 5 guards, and saves gas too. Don't settle for less. Get the custom Steel Guard radial, only from Goodyear.
Minnesota kept the ball for 9 minutes and 1 second. Now Fred Cox will kick off. And Charlie Waters, number 41, talks it over with Cliff Harris, number 43, who'll be the middleman. And the other deep man is Mike Montgomery. Fred Cox took Ron Yary off the hook with that field goal after the holding call. Waters from the 1, 10, 20. Oh, good coverage. Downfield for the Vikings was Jeff Wright, who's a defensive back, number 23. And Charlie Waters got out to the 18-yard line and then was driven back. Saw a lot of action yesterday on CBS in the Sun Bowl. CBS has another college bowl game coming up Tuesday, New Year's Day.
At 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Southwest Conference champion Texas beats Nebraska right here at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas.
Okay, the Cowboys are trailing. Garrison and Newhouse are the setbacks. Hayes and Pearson are the wide receivers, and Staubach's going to throw on first down, and he overthrows Drew Pearson, who is very well covered by Nate Wright, number 43. Wright is a story, Pat. He played with Atlanta, nothing. He played with St. Louis, they didn't like him. You put him with a good football team, it's different.
He's had a great year.
I'm going to tell you, that Minnesota front 4 with their rush can make a lot of average backs good, I'll tell you.
Minnesota deep has Nate Wright on the corner, Jeff Wright at safety, Paul Krause at safety, and Bobby Bryant at the right corner. Second down and 10, Dallas from the 18. Straight ahead, Garrison. They're counting a lot on him today, Pat. They're talking about Newhouse taking Hill's place. Nobody takes Hill's place. You've got to make up for it someplace else. They'll be looking for the Cowboy here, won't they?
They sure will. One of the many banners here at Texas Stadium with Jethro Pugh with the noose around Tarkenton. Garrison, by the way, is playing with a cracked collarbone. He's got a special pad on for that.
Bob Lertzma goes in, number 75, and Gary Larson is out on 3rd down and 6 from the Dallas 22 with Bobby Hayes in motion. Hayes caught it, and that's a first down. Paul Krause was covering. That was a terrible-looking play on the snap, wasn't it?
Whole thing looked out of sync.
The Minnesota rush wasn't there. The Dallas team didn't react to the snap. The coverage was good, but the pass was caught.
Just took Paul Krause a little too long to get over there. I think there was a mix-up in the Viking coverage.
Sort of looked that way because they had 2 men over there, and both laid off him much too much. A first down out to the 32 for the Cowboys. 2:45 remaining in the first quarter. Newhouse. He picked up 8 yards. Wayne Walker, that's what you were talking about. An arm tackle doesn't stop him.
And it was Jeff Seaman that met him in the hole, but watch this now. This is a guy they say he runs like a shot put. And that was it, the arm tackle right there as he eluded Seaman.
He launched himself through there like a shot put, didn't he?
Jim Marshall caught him from behind right at the 40-yard line. And Dallas is moving now. Second down and 2. Drew Pearson to the left, Bob Hayes to the right. Garrison is short of a first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1 coming up. Bob Lurtzen made the tackle, number 75. Minnesota, Wayne, is very, very healthy for this game in contrast to the Dallas team.
I think that goes hand in hand with them clinching their division crown so early. They had an opportunity to take some people out and get them healthy again. Coming into today's ball game, the only guy that had a problem was left linebacker Roy Winston, but he worked out the last 2 days, and he's almost 100%.
You saw Rodney Wallace and Gene Huguet checking in on 3rd and 1 for Dallas. Newhouse got first down. Jeff Seaman, number 50, who's only a second-year man from Stanford and doing a whale of a job at middle linebacker, made the tackle, but too late to stop the first down. And Billy Joe Dupree checks in, carrying the play with 1 minute remaining in a very interesting first quarter. The Vikings are on top 3-0. Midfield right is out. Rodney Wallace is playing the right tackle for the Cowboys. They're at their own 43. That's hard work for 2.5 yards. Carl Eller, number 81, finally stopped him. We have 31 seconds remaining in the quarter. The clock running. We may or may not get another play underway. It's going to be 2nd down and 8 for Dallas. Yeah, they'll run another play before the quarter comes to an end. It's 62 degrees here, by the way, and I understand it's 0 up in Minneapolis. And it was 20 below there last night, so we hope you Viking fans are comfortable as you watch our CBS telecast. A delay to Newhouse. He gained only a yard. And getting up is Larson. He made the stop, and the quarter comes to an end. The end of the first quarter with the score. Minnesota 3, Dallas nothing.
There's a new pioneer spirit in America today, the spirit of conservation. It's people realizing there's just not as much energy as we're used to having. And we can help keep factories working and paychecks coming in and America going strong if we just drive a little slower and heat our homes and businesses a little less. If everybody dials down 6 degrees at home and slows down on the highways, it'll conserve enough fuel to provide energy for more than 1 million American jobs. And that's vital to all of us. Amoco Oil is doing all they can to get more energy to us, but until the shortage eases, it's up to all of us to make what there is go further. There's a shortage of energy, but not of the American spirit. Keep your spirit up, the spirit of conservation for the sake of America.
Each year, Tommy Nobis of the Atlanta Falcons spends part of his offseason rounding up dollars so that underprivileged kids can go to camp. His telethon alone sent 200 youngsters who wouldn't otherwise have made it to Camp Rabun in the Georgia Hills. It's so much fun, Tommy goes himself. Volunteering can be fun as well as helpful. If you want to help, call your local Voluntary Action Center or write Volunteer, Washington, D.C., 20013. What we need, money can't buy. We need you.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. And Pat Summerall, I know the Vikings have one TV rooter extra special going for him today.
That would be Carl Stoselke, who was injured in that tragic preseason accident. And we certainly wish him well and hope he's feeling well.
Dallas is faced with 3rd and 7 from their own 46. Mike Montgomery is in there, in the backfield and in motion. Staubach needs 7. Bob Hayes caught it. I want to say something about Bob Hayes, Wayne. He's got a reputation here now that they don't count on him in the clutch situations, but they did that time.
Oh, they flooded the area over there with the motion man. Hayes made the turn in, and Bryant now, I think if he'd have played him up around the numbers, he could have brought him off that ball, but he went for the legs.
Hayes knew he was going to get hit, Pat.
He really got way off the ground to make that catch, and that's the kind of pass that he has the reputation of dropping.
Well, he did it that time and gave Dallas Dallas a first down at the 39. Quite a strike by Staubach, by the way. Hayes is to the right, Pearson to the left, and the fake to Newhouse, and Pearson to the sideline. No good. Out of bounds. Well, as he comes back to the huddle, that gives us a chance to talk about Drew Pearson. He's a story in himself.
Well, he had 2 touchdown catches last week against Los Angeles, and after the ranks of the wide receivers were depleted for Dallas, he came out of nowhere. He was invited to the tryout camp last spring and then invited back to the regular camp. The Cowboys went out to Thousand Oaks to start their workouts this year, and he has been spectacular. His father-in-law, by the way, is Marcus Haynes.
A great dribbler with the Globetrotters. Second down and 10, and neither team is bashful about throwing the ball on first down. Pearson's to the right and Hayes to the left. And Newhouse gets nothing, and a flag goes down. A flag goes down, holding Dallas. 14:08 remaining in the half, so Dallas catches the flag here. And Minnesota is going to take the penalty, obviously, get away from field goal range, because Tony Fritsch ordinarily has a longer range than Fred Cox, so the Cowboys have a little edge in that department here today.
Noticed in Bud Grant's comments before the game that the holding penalty, by the way, was called on John Nyland. But back to Bud Grant's comments, this is one of the things he said would determine who won this game. Officials' calls, holding against Dallas.
Norm Schechter, our referee, indicated it, and it's second down and 25. Jack Buck here, Pat Summerall, Wayne Walker alongside. Bob Lertzema has checked into the defensive line, and Gary Larson is out. Frequently we have seen Alan Page holding against that scramble by Staubach. Perhaps should be able to pick it up here. There he is, chasing Staubach, and he got him. We lucked into that one, Pat, because Page has been holding there.
I'm not really sure whether that was a hit and control move by Page or just an excellent job of pass blocking by John Nyland. I would think that if they were going to turn one of those 2 tackles loose, it would be Page they turn loose and hit and control with the other one, whether it be Larson or Lertzema.
The ball is out to the Dallas 48, and it's third down and 22. Let's listen to Staubach as he sends Hayes to the right and Pearson to the left. Pearson, Bryant, incomplete. What a battle that was. 2 fine football players. The rookie Pearson, the 6-year veteran Bobby Bryant, both in great position.
And let's look at that coverage again. It's a fine pass by Staubach, too. But Bryant didn't take any of those moves. Pearson tried to get him to head to the inside and then break it back out, but he couldn't. Pass is right on the money, though.
It's the hardest thing for a defensive back to do right there, what Bryant did. Turn around and look for the ball in the air, because you feel like when you turn around, Pat, you lose a step or two, but boy, you've got to do it. Bryant did it well that time.
That was a classic picture. Bateman stands inside his 35, and Bryant, who's averaged 5.5 yards per return, stands at his 10. West almost got to the ball, and Bryant calls for a fair catch. So the Vikings with the lead, 3-0, get the ball. We have 13-19 remaining in the half, and one thing is for certain: Dallas, without Calvin Hill, has not established their running game at all in this contest.
To the equitable agent, no 2 people are alike.
Is there anyone else in the whole human race with your kind of style and your kind of grace?
No 2 people are alike. That's why your equitable agent thinks of you as an individual. His training and thinking are shaped around you and your life insurance needs. To the equitable agent,
there's nobody else exactly like you. Nobody else like you.
These cherries are brought to you by Burlington Northern. We bring carloads of cherries 2,027 miles by rail at a cost to you of about 3 cents a pound. Burlington Northern's been doing a lot to save you a little money, like moving trains more economically by pulling bigger carloads with more powerful diesels. So when Burlington Northern brings cherries to Chicago, we don't take much of a bite.
After Minnesota kept the ball for 9 minutes and got 3 points, Dallas kept the ball for 6 minutes and came away empty. A holding call cost Minnesota a touchdown earlier, and a holding call probably took 3 points away from Dallas. The ball's at the 14. Foreman and Reed are in the eye. Carroll Dale and Gilliam are the wide receivers. There he is, the tight end, Stu Voigt. First down, Minnesota. We're watching a pretty wide open championship game as far as Minnesota's concerned, Wayne.
It's a good time to throw the ball, really. Play action on first down. The defense is geared for the run. One thing it does to the quarterback, though, you'll notice on the play action, it doesn't give him time to read the defense. After he makes his play fake, he has to turn around and pick up a receiver right away. That's the only drawback to play action on first down.
And he was back at his own 14-yard line, so Mr. Tarkenton, who's calling his own plays, is not bashful or shy today. From the 30. He's going to do it again. Yep. Oh, Foreman missed it right through his hands. Foreman tried to turn and go before he put it away. Leroy Jordan was blitzing on the play, and that's why that middle was so wide open, Pat.
And I mean, Ed White put some block on Leroy Jordan. Just decked him as he started his blitz up the middle.
Foreman's kicking himself a little bit. He's the rookie from Miami, Florida. Made a big difference with this Viking football team. Second down and 10 from the Minnesota 30. Oscar Reed squirts out to the 35-yard line, and Leroy Jordan, number 55, covered him. Everybody is really singing about Leroy Jordan down here in the year that he's had.
Spectacular year. He's had 6 interceptions, or had 6 in the regular season. That was high for linebackers in the NFC this year. But I'll tell you, that's a pretty good matchup we're watching today between Jordan, number 55, and Mick Tingelhoff, the offensive center for Minnesota. And he's done quite a job on Leroy so far.
Jim Lash, number 82, checks in as a wide receiver on 3rd and 5. This Dallas crowd imploring their team to get to Tarkenton. Quickie, first down to the tight end, Stu Voigt. And another classic play is pulled off by the Vikings with Cliff Harris, number 43, making the stop. The ball is out to the Minnesota 42, and they're doing a lot of things right.
No question, but what they have dominated the game so far. They look much more solid on offense, much more sure of themselves. The Dallas team's a little tight so far.
Yeah, they've been in the playoffs 8 years in a row, but they have a lot of newcomers in their lineup, both on offense and defense. More so on offense. Tarkenton to Foreman, following Reed. Reed really chopped Cornell Green completely out of the play. Bill Gregory chased the play and caught it, but not till Foreman had rambled down to the 37-yard line.
This is quite a play because they pull the offensive guard in the opposite direction.
It kept Leroy out of there. It froze Leroy. He couldn't get over in pursuit, and Tingelhoff tied him up. That's why Foreman had the running room.
Tarkenton has got the Dallas defense reeling a little bit.
Yes, he does.
We have 10:40 remaining in the half. Tarkenton is 6 out of 10. And he stole a couple away intentionally. Another first down. Good fake. Incomplete. How do you like that hit by Waters on Lash, who unfortunately is shaken up on the play, and it's understandable.
I guess it is understandable. This is some shot here. Gonna remember that a while.
Wow. Lash is 6'2", 200-pounder, and you know he had to at least have the wind knocked out of him, and let's hope that's all there is to it. 10:24 remaining in the half. 3-0 Minnesota.
Ford says its mid-size Ford Torino is a great value for today's driving.
Hello, I'm Hugh Downs. You can find out for yourself by comparing Torino to other mid-size cars. Front seat passengers should be able to cross their legs. Check the quality. The carpeting should be thick. Feel the seats. They should be firm from center to edge. Test the back for leg room, knee room, hip room. Is the ride smooth, solid, and steady? Ford believes this car meets these tests. And this Gran Torino Brougham carries 6 passengers comfortably, has steel-belted radial-ply tires standard, runs on regular gas with a big 26.5-gallon tank. A great car for today's driving. And not a bad idea for carpools, either. Others tell you to compare. Ford and your Ford dealers tell you what to compare.
Ford Torino. The closer you look, the better we look.
Jim Lash is on the bench, and it's our guess that he'll be back in there after that hit by Charlie Waters. And Wayne Walker, sometimes just one hit like that by one player can spark an entire defense.
A big play by a defensive player at any time can turn the thing around. They see a hit like that by Waters. Everybody else wants to get in on the act.
2nd down and 10 for the Vikings at the Dallas 37. Foreman up the middle. I want to tell you, I've seen some blocking by Oscar Reed that has been unmatched in this game thus far.
Good block by Ed White, who comes and pulls behind the center and leads this play up the hole right over the middle. As you're looking at Foreman, watch Oscar Reed's block on Jethro Pugh. A good block by White also.
Bill Gregory gets over, number 77, and he makes the tackle, and the ball is down at the Dallas 29, and it's 3rd and 1 with Goodrum and Kingsrider checking back in. Up front for the Vikings. Look at Dallas dig in. He wouldn't throw the ball here, would he? No. Reed. He carried everybody forward. And Mr. Walker is about to sing the praises of Ron Yary once again.
I'll tell you what, you just got to get on his back and hang on over there in those short yardage situations. He can blow you out.
Charlie Waters finally put the stop on the play, and a measurement here stops the clock with 9:38 remaining in the half. That was a 3rd down play. Remember earlier, Minnesota had 4th down, and they gambled, and they're confronted with another situation. And they're going to go again.
I don't think they've made up their mind quite yet. He wants them to go for it. Bud Grant just signaled.
Okay, it's 4th down and about a foot. Rodrigo Barnes checks in to bolster the Dallas defense, and Bill Brown goes into the game for the first time, probably carrying a play.
He probably will wind up carrying the ball.
Crew cut and all, huh?
One of the few remaining.
Okay, we'll keep quiet here. Foreman's timing on the play was terrific. I thought, in fact, he might have been in motion.
He got a good rolling start that time, reminiscent of Leroy Kelly and Essex Johnson. He really got to the line.
That's the way you go through stop signs when you're driving.
He got the 1st down.
So twice Minnesota has gambled, and it's paid off. Jethro Pugh and Pat Toomey made the stop, and Foreman got the 1st down. And Pat Summerall was wrong. Bill Brown didn't carry the ball.
But he did have a crew cut.
He did a heck of a job of decoying.
The ball's at the 26. 9 minutes left in the half. Gilliams to the left. Tarkenton throwing and incomplete. Oscar Reed was the intended receiver. Carroll Dale had carried a lot of traffic into the same area.
I think the pass may have been intended for Carroll Dale, and Reed got a little deeper than maybe that pattern was drawn up, because Dale ran a post pattern, and the flare control shouldn't have been that deep.
It's a very difficult pass to throw, as Tarkenton was rolling left and throwing back to the middle, across his body like that.
I was surprised that one wasn't picked off with all those Dallas people coming into the area. 8:50 remaining in the half. 2nd down and 10 from the Dallas 26-yard line. Vikings leading 3-0. Trying to get into the Super Bowl. Dale is to the right, Gilliam to the left. Foreman to the 20. It'll be 3rd down and 3. A strong tackle by Larry Cole, who grabbed him by the shirt and wouldn't turn it loose. But that Minnesota blocking up front has been devastating.
And been great running, too, by this man, Chuck Foreman. What an outstanding rookie he's been.
He never seems to hit the hole square on, Pat. He's always slanting, something going for him. So.
And likewise, he never seems to take a solid lick from any of the tacklers either.
Foreman has carried 9 times, 57 yards. 3rd down and 3. First and goal from Minnesota. The middle was open again. Jethro Pugh made the tackle. And I think Tarkenton wanted to hit his tight end, Voigt, who'd been very well picked up.
He put a great move on middle linebacker Leroy Jordan, who was all set to make a tackle in the open field. And Francis left him with nothing but air.
It's the guy that invented it right there, number 10.
And he never gets hurt, Wayne.
Well, he runs very intelligent, and I saw Roger Staubach do the first thing when he came out this afternoon, and anticipating the contact and getting down.
First and goal. Here comes Reed to the 5-yard line. Mick Tinglehoff threw one of the good blocks. Oscar Reed threw the other, and Ron Yary crunched somebody else. And the tackler was Gregory, helped by Harris. 2nd and goal from the 5. This has got to be, to this point, Pat, the flattest half that Dallas has had in a long time. I guess since they played Philadelphia.
We saw them against Washington the next to the last week of the season. That's the best football game I think I've ever seen them play since I've been watching the Cowboys. But they definitely are flat today. Either that or Minnesota is just playing super football.
2nd and goal. Foreman. He's got it. Yep. That makes it 9-0. Who shook him loose, Wayne?
I'll tell you what, a super block over there by number 83, Stu Voigt, on the outside linebacker. Watch the top of your picture. Oh, it was Yary coming out. Now, Yary makes the turn on him.
I'm getting tired of you talking about him.
I saw the 3. I thought it was Stu Voigt, but it was Ron Yary.
Well, Voigt blocked down on the inside man and did a good job there. Yary came around behind him and looped in on the linebacker.
Krause will hold it for Cox, who will try to make it 10-0. He hasn't missed all year. 33 out of 33. Earlier they kept the ball for 9 minutes. It's 10-0 now. And this time they kept the ball for another 6 minutes and 10 seconds. We have 6.5 minutes remaining in the half. And here in Dallas, it's all Minnesota, and it's 10-0.
Ring in the holidays. Ring out the year. Sparkling with Andre. Love and good cheer. Take Andre home for the holidays. Andre for the holidays.
What's a celebration without Andre champagne to lend sparkle and elegance? And Andre cold duck to keep things bubbling along. Greet the season and your friends with the best. Andre.
For the holidays and all year long.
If you were thinking about replacing the tires on your American car, remember this. Of all the steel-belted radial tires, only one is offered as original equipment by all 4 major automakers. The Goodyear Steel Guard Radial, with these 5 guards to help protect you 5 ways. The Steel Guard Radial, only from Goodyear.
We mentioned earlier that Fran Tarkenton is now a winner, no longer a loser. And what a display he is presenting today. He's got the Dallas defense back on their heels. Cox will kick it off. Cliff Harris is the middleman. Montgomery and Waters are the other deep receivers. 6:31 remaining in the half. And Dallas needs something badly. Like a return from Harris from 1 yard inside. 10, 20. He's got a little going for him. Shy of the 35-yard line. Harris had averaged 25 yards per return, and Bobby Bryant finally stopped that one. I saw Bill Brown in the middle of that play also. Well, that might spark them as the Cowboys come out to their 33.
Let's watch that return again. Number 30, of course, is Bill Brown, playing on the special teams after 13 years in the league and pursuing very well.
A 34-yard return takes it out to the 33. Bob Hayes is a slot back to the right and in motion now. Garrison gives the Cowboys a few. Earlier, Minnesota had a 17-play drive and got 3 points. And the last time, a 14-play drive for 7 points. Paul Krause was a tackler on Walt Garrison. We mentioned Calvin Hill being out. And Otto Stowe has not been activated for this one. He had a broken ankle earlier. He could play in the Super Bowl if Dallas gets there. 2nd and 6. Pearson in motion. Newhouse. Stopped cold by Carl Eller, number 81. And it'll be 3rd down and 4 for Dallas.
That's a matchup that we intended to watch throughout the day between 2 All-Pros, Rayfield Wright and Carl Eller. So far, you'd have to say the edge goes to Minnesota and to Eller.
It's obvious here, Wayne, that Staubach's trying to get that running game established, because unless he does that, he's sunk this afternoon.
Well, he's got a long way to go yet in the ballgame. 5 minutes remaining in the first half, and he does have to get it going.
Montgomery checks into the backfield. He's a pretty good pass receiver. And he's in the pattern. Mr. Larson, the 10-year man from Concordia, number 77, forces Dallas to punt. Good coverage downfield by Minnesota. Everybody.
Had to be, because the protection really wasn't that bad. When Roger stepped up in the pocket, he had nowhere to go. And that gentleman right there made the tackle.
Bateman into punt again. We want to say hello to a favorite of ours, Bill Kilmer. I understand he came through an operation in good shape over at Georgetown University Hospital. Tough horse.
Yes, sir.
The ball to the 34. Bobby Bryant waiting for Marv Bateman's kick. So Minnesota, with 4:44 remaining, is going to get the ball again. And leading 10-0, Bryant calls for a fair catch. Why not? The ball at the 25-yard line, and the Vikings get the ball again. They're leading by the score of 10-0. A 44-yard field goal by Fred Cox and a 5-yard run by Foreman. 10-0 Minnesota.
I'm a firm believer in STP oil treatment. Ever since I bought my car new, I've had STP in a crankcase. And that's over 170,000 miles without engine trouble. It would still be driving today, except for this damage in the front end. You can bet that my new car has STP in its crankcase. I wouldn't drive without it.
All these people are about to make copies in less than 30 seconds on the IBM Copier 2. As you can see, this copier lets you feed in originals continuously. It ejects them automatically, and it gives you your copies fast. The IBM Copier 2, the copier that waits for you instead of you waiting for it.
Treat your family to the star-studded pageantry of the Cotton Bowl Festival Parade and the Tournament of Roses Parade. Enjoy these big events and more New Year's Day on CBS.
Jack Buck, Wayne Walker, Pat Summerall with you. Minnesota's ball at their 26th, first down. We were talking it over up here, and some of our summations were that Staubach is throwing the ball poorly. Dallas has no pass rush, has not had to this point. Minnesota has employed some new plays at this point of the game. Gilliam to the left. Oscar Reed. This is a spot, Pat, where Tarkenton, well, I guess he could sit on the ball if he wanted to, but if he can bring himself to keep it wide open like this, he's going to do himself a lot of good.
He's been able to do just about whatever he wants to, Jack. That run by Oscar Reed gets Minnesota over the 100-yard mark already. Last week, the Rams only got 93 in the whole game. So that's the key right there, the fact that Minnesota's been able to run against Dallas.
Reed has run for 29 yards, and Foreman for 62, and it's 2nd down and 3. Look at Foreman. And he gets a first down. What a reckless runner he is. Dave Edwards, the outside linebacker, number 52, cracked in and stopped it. And D.D. Lewis, number 50, also helped. And Minnesota hasn't lost any of their zip at all.
I think part of their philosophy has to be taking note of the fine year that Leroy Jordan has had, and also taking note of the absence of Bob Lilly in the heart of that defense. They are running right at the middle, trying to control Leroy Jordan, and just getting a super job done of blocking Bill Gregory.
First down at the 37. Well, there's a big hit on a blitz. Jordan, Edwards, Jethro Pugh. Wayne, what do you think of blitzing on running downs?
Well, it's a solid. You'll see Leroy slip off here now on the down block by Sunday, and I don't know if that was a blitz or just a line stunt. It was hard to tell right at the time. But, blitzing against the run is very solid. The only trouble you have, if they do happen to pop it, they're in the secondary immediately with no linebackers.
2nd down and 10. We have 2:40 remaining in the half and the clock running. So Tarkenton's going to put it up. Foreman, Jethro Pugh, and D.D. Lewis made the stop. Very short yardage. 3rd down and long coming up. And that's the first time in the game Dallas has made 2 consecutive defensive plays. And the crowd is coming alive. Harvey Martin checks in to the Dallas defense. A rookie from East Texas State. He's wearing number 79. He's good, Pat.
Very good.
We're down to the 2-minute mark now. Now Minnesota on a field goal by Cox of 44 yards and a 5-yard run by Foreman, having picked up 14 first downs in the game, leads 10-0.
Have you seen it yet? New Ford Mustang 2. Come see how much car a great little car can be.
Look what we've done to our Mustang. Look what we've done to that car. Well, we changed the size, we changed the style, and you're gonna like it fine. So, look what we've done to that car.
New Ford Mustang 2. Built smaller than the original Mustang, with an easy-on-gas 4-cylinder engine, a sensational ride. It's richly appointed, with luxurious bucket seats, cut pile carpeting, wood-grained instrument panel, tachometer, all standard. It's the right car at the right time.
When you take a ride, you're gonna know that Mustang's one of a kind. So, look what we've done.
Mustang 2, $28.95 base sticker price, excluding dealer prep, destination charges, title, and taxes at your Ford dealer.
Standing on the sideline and missing from that Dallas defense is this man right here, Bob Lilly. I think Tom Landry paid him the supreme compliment last year when he said, frankly, nobody is as good as Bob Lilly. I don't care who it is. And you've got to miss a man like that.
I bet he's eating his heart out down there on the sideline, because as pro football players will tell you, when they're hurt, they feel like they just don't belong to the team at all. 3rd down and 7. 2 minutes left in the half. Gilliam to the left. Carroll Dale to the right. How about that? On a 3rd and 7, Foreman picks up another first down. Cliff Harris was the tackler.
And again, look at this blocking by Ed White and Grady Alderman, and watch Leroy Jordan being taken by, I believe that time it was Milt Sunday.
Tell you the truth, I missed that handoff. I was watching the pass pattern downfield. I was so certain he was going to throw the ball.
They must have been too.
That's why I said, how about that? First down. And broken up by Renfro. Jim Lash, who was injured earlier, was the intended pass receiver, and Renfro's speed just did get him there. I thought Tarkenton had some running room, but he's just not inclined that way so much.
Not as much as he used to be. Of course, with the experience that he's gotten, he reads defenses a lot better. And he's able to pick up receivers and secondary receivers a lot better than he used to be.
And he gets a good pass blocking up front, Pat.
And, of course, it takes a while, too, Jack, for the receivers to get used to a man like this who's running around. It's a moving target for them to find as well as for him to find as he looks downfield.
1:19 left in the half. Second down and 10. Harvey Martin is in there to try to bolster the Dallas defense. Oscar Reed got only a couple. Let's see if the Cowboys stop the clock. Nope, not yet. 1:10 remaining in the half. Jethro Pugh, the primary tackler, number 75. We're coming up to the 1 minute mark, and neither team is inclined to bring a halt to the proceedings. At halftime, Tom Landry, the coach of the Cowboys, is going to be your football instructor, and he's going to talk about the screen pass.
There's Tom now. Screen pass, although it looks like a very simple play, is one of the most difficult ones to execute in football. Landry's an expert on it.
You'll learn about it at halftime in the NFL playbook. And nothing doing on that one. The whistle had sounded. Tarkenton took all the time that he wanted, and a delay of game comes about with 34 seconds remaining in the half. I guess he did that by design, didn't he, Pat?
I imagine he wanted to keep the clock running and take as much time as he could. He didn't want to stop because they're trying to run it out now. I was surprised, frankly, that the Cowboys didn't take a timeout. I think certainly they will now.
They will after this play. It's 3rd down and 12 back at the 48-yard line. Gilliam comes to the left. Carroll Dale is to the right. Benny Barnes is in the defensive backfield for the Cowboys. 3rd and 12. Sideline pass, Gilliam. No, out of bounds. He tried desperately to get those feet down. He wants to discuss it. He doesn't argue very vehemently about it. And now we have 29 seconds left in the half.
And we can look at that again. I think he did get one foot down in time, but not the other. Remember, in pro football, you got to get both feet down in bounds unless you're knocked out by a defender. There's one. I think the other was on the line.
Eyeshide is in to do the punting. Mike Eyeshide. And this will be his first punt of the game. Golden Richards, who has excellent hands and good speed, is not going to have much of a chance. Yeah, you better call for a fair catch. And Minnesota has downed the ball inside the 10. I think he had an idea, Pat, and then sneaked a peek and said, better not.
All right, well, the ball was so high, Eyeshide kicked it just exactly like he wanted to. In that particular spot on the field, you try to kick it high and not kick away, so they do have to either fair catch it or let it bounce. I know that Tom Landry believes that you shouldn't handle the ball inside the 15-yard line, and Richards didn't do it.
So Eyeshide really helped the Vikings with that one. The ball was down on the 7-yard line. A 47-yard punt. Dallas has been blank. And they're not going to try to do anything about it. They're going to count on the final 30 minutes to bring them back and send them to the Super Bowl. That's the last play of the first half, because neither team is going to stop it. It's a Viking afternoon thus far, but 30 more minutes of football remain. Will it be different in the second half? That's the end of the first half. The score, Minnesota 10, Dallas nothing.